It's Thursday. Rob here, still in Costa Rica. I'm heading home on Sunday. I'll be back in Canada and back to reality and running my photography business. So it's been kind of weird. I'll talk more about that at some other future time, maybe when John and I have a one-on-one tight. But we've been having a lot of guests joining us every week on our Photo Buzz. Last week we had Dave Union, and the replay is available. You got to watch it. I was just talking to Marilyn off camera earlier before we went live, and she said she watched it, and I'd like to get a little bit of commentary from you in a little bit, Marilyn, on what you thought of Dave and maybe some of the topics. There's two questions I want to ask you, though, before we go. And first, I want to remind everybody, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I've known Marilyn probably since 2006. I think it was the first time I taught at Niagara School of Imaging down in St. Catharines. And wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of memories. I've had Marilyn on many times. She spoke at some of my events, live events at the Inferno. And also we did a complete series called Finishing Touch, Up Your Photos, Create Stunning High-End Art. Mm-hmm. Those are available in the forum for members. And also, I believe the last time I had you on, Marilyn, as a speaker, did I have you on with John and I?
No.
Okay.
No, not before.
I checked, and I had you on 2017 in November. I will put that replay in the description for this replay. If you watch it, actually, I'll put it at some point in time in this discussion as well, so anybody can go watch those. I highly encourage you guys to plug into what Marilyn has to say, because she's very bright, very passionate, very much led an interesting life as a photographer / evolved into an artiste. So, right. So I want, on that note, Marilyn, I'd like you to just give us a quick synopsis of your life up till now. Let's just touch on it for those who don't know who you are. Give us the 1 to 2 minute summary, and then we'll go into the next question and down some possible rabbit holes and catch up on what you've been up to. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds good. So I was in Miami for what seems like forever, and I was portrait photographer there, and I became very well known, especially when we started shooting high key portraits. And it evolved. I mean, I started out with a home studio, then a small studio, then a bigger studio, and then a 2,600 square foot studio with 4 employees. So it came to, as my photography evolved, my art evolved. And I learned Corel Painter, and I started doing paintings for my portrait clients. And it just evolved that I wanted to do more than just that. Mm-hmm. So when my lease was up finally, and it was time to renew, we started talking about moving to Asheville, North Carolina.
Right.
And what we would be doing there. And at the time I was still doing a lot of convention speaking and workshops. And so all we needed was to be near an airport and have a computer. So that's what we did. And then we moved here in December 2007. And as things evolved, now it's just full-time art.
That's a good synopsis.
Yeah.
You're so succinct.
Tried to keep it short.
You're good. You're a good communicator. So Asheville, North Carolina, since 2007. I had no idea it was that long. I say that long ago. I mean, just time flies.
I know.
Your life is like a legacy. So you said something earlier in your comment on the
Dave.
Facebook page about Dave Jr., and you said Dave is fearless.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I never actually thought of that before. And I've sort of started thinking about my life and how I've always said I've had more balls than brains, which meant I was fearless in many ways too. And I was like, yeah, I could connect the dots. I'm like, because oftentimes that confidence, whether justified or unjustified, has led me to overall general success. Yep. And fearlessness, I mean, is such a valuable. But you tell me, you did what you did. You had everything going for you, and you said, now we want to move and I want to pursue a different direction. So let's talk about that. And then, well, and we can also, it'll lead up to what you've been up to as well. So, and I also want to ask you later on, I'm going to put this here now because in case I forget, drunk girl art. I'm just a little bit concerned about the obsession with alcoholism. But let's go to the first question. Did I get too much in over my head with all these observations and comments, or
No. What do you mean over your head?
okay? Sometimes I just blurt stuff out, and it's just like we got 5 different directions. But the first direction I want to pursue is 2007. You guys moving. What the hell were you thinking, and how does fearlessness play in that?
Well, first of all, every program that I've ever done, and usually slideshow, whatever, that's always been my thing. Be fearless. I mean, that was like definitely my logo kind of thing.
Really?
Because if you're afraid, you won't grow. I mean, you definitely won't grow. And I've watched you, Rob, grow and change, and the Costa Rica thing. I mean, it just really, evolves. We wanted out of Miami when both my parents were gone. We really didn't need to be in Miami.
Right.
And we wanted to be able to breathe fresh air. And I actually had been to Asheville for a client, and my son used to go to camp up here in the mountains every summer. So I've been up here a couple of times, and I just love the area. Michael and I always loved mountains and lakes and that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Growing up in Miami, I had enough with beaches and boating and water ski, all that stuff. I was up to there. So one day I just said to Michael, what do you think about moving to Asheville? And he said, okay. I said, have you ever been there? And he said, no, but you know what we like.
Trust, man.
Next thing you knew, we were looking at moving up here. We had an old friend from Florida that actually had a photography school up here for a little while, about an hour from where we actually live now. And he invited me up to teach twice. So we did get a good look at the entire area and able to narrow down where we wanted to live. And I sold my condo in Miami, and we found a house we liked, and we moved. That was it.
You've been there ever since.
Yeah.
The rest is history, as they say.
Yes.
No regrets.
Oh, none whatsoever.
Wow. That's amazing. You don't overthink things. You just like, hey, let's do this. All right. And he didn't even question because he trusts your take on it. He knows that, you mentioned Costa Rica. I mean, I said yes to a condo down here. Never once. Yeah. Same answer. Right. Yeah, okay, let's do it. You got this. You got this. So that connection between you and Michael, and you've been married quite a while, I would imagine.
Actually, he's the best boyfriend ever. We're almost 22 years.
He's a boyfriend. Yeah, but he's like a spouse. I met him many, many times. He's an amazing guy. But that connection between you two as a team, obviously, to some degree, plays a role in the direction you've taken.
Huge role. Yeah. Really. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for him. Just to say one note, I always play the game, what's the worst thing that could happen? So that's how I make those decisions. Okay, what's the worst thing that could happen if we move to North Carolina? Well, maybe we have to move back to Florida. I mean, what is the worst thing that could happen? So I play that, and I run the pros and cons, and just make the decision off of that. That I always have a safety net, a backup plan, just in case.
It's a good way to look at it. Just as a backup. So interesting. So the value of the relationship obviously is something that you guys value, and you obviously are pointing out in this discussion. And I've always said that, to me, my favorite business is a mom and pop business. I love them. You know, the shoe repair, the restaurant, jewelry shop, all of that.
Yep.
When I see a husband and wife, especially when I see a husband and wife in the family, I'm like, oh, it just warms my heart. But there's something special about a couple, a man and a woman, who run a business together and or influence each other in that business. I don't know to what degree Michael is involved, but it's just something to think about. And you have, since this massive direction that you've gone down in since 2007, you've had him by your side the whole time, and it's been
Right.
like, where would you be without him? And where would he be without you? You probably would be doing what?
I don't know. I
Who
mean, I
knows?
really don't know. I'd have to outsource everything because he does so much.
Yeah, life is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to make that observation, and it's interesting that we're talking about that for whatever reason. But I've always felt photography, or in your case, you're doing art, a mom and pop situation,
Right.
is me one of the most optimum things. So it's something to consider if you're starting out and you have a spouse and you're like, yeah, maybe we should do this. Know this, that it's probably a good idea, unless you really disagree on a lot of stuff. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
but you pointed it out, Marilyn, when you said, let's go here, and he's like, okay, you know what we like. You know what we like.
Yep. That's how we ended up here. Yep.
John works with his wife full time, and I work with my wife full time, 26 years now. And it's just
Yeah.
like one of the most valuable things that I've had going for me. And I don't know where the hell I'd be. Hell,
Yeah.
geez. I'm turning 64 in July, and as you get older, you look back at your life and you think about these things when you don't, when you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s even. And I think about them now more so, and I'm like connecting the dots. And this is some good, insightful stuff, in my opinion, that we could share with others. But you know, it's like I impulsively got married and had a baby right away, and impulsively she quit her job right away, and we were working in the photography business. This is all in 1 year.
Whoa.
All in 1 year, but it all worked out so well. More balls than brains. So I'm back to your move, this big transition. And it's funny, we've never really talked about this before. You've mentioned it in your biography, but given everything I've said and the fact that you have hindsight now and observations, and you look back at your life and you look back at what's working out, and you look back to 2007 and you make the connection, and to this radical, I'm going to call it a radical geographic and career shift. So, right?
Yeah. All my friends in Miami couldn't believe it. They all said, "Oh, you'll be back." I did it all within 6 months. Done. My friends were in shock. And that's the only thing I miss about Miami is my friends. That's it.
Yeah. Well, you made new friends, I'm sure.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And the Miami people keep coming up here also. So
yeah,
I do get to see them.
They miss their Maryland.
No, they come up here to get out of the heat.
Right. I hear it's pretty humid down there. All right. So let's talk about a little bit more on your direction and what you're up to nowadays. And if you look back to this new direction, you've turned into an artiste and created a business based on that. What is it you like most about it? And if you could go back to Marilyn 2007, what would you tell that Marilyn, if there's anything at all? Yeah, maybe everything ran so smooth and there's nothing, but take us there.
There's nothing I would really tell her, because you have to go through things to evolve. You have to live through it and have the failures to make the changes so that things will be more successful.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wouldn't tell her anything, but just keep going, doing what you're doing. Just be aware the world's changing. And, with COVID having happened, that really was a big boost for my online business.
Really?
Yeah, the galleries were closed, but the online business, that the COVID helped it to thrive. People were home and looking at everything. But everything that I have done is part of the total package. Had to go through it all, because if you don't experience that, you're never going to have a success. So I don't regret any of the decisions we made. I don't, there's anything that held us back for a while. The main gallery that I applied to in Asheville, I had to wait 2 years to get in that gallery. Hey, back there. Hi, welcome home.
Hi. And John. Interesting.
So
you had to wait 2 years.
Yeah.
I had to wait 2 years to get into this gallery. But once I got in, I was able to get into the second gallery very quickly, because they took a look at my stuff and they were like, oh yeah, if you're in that gallery, we want you too. So everything started rolling. But the first year I was in the gallery, my work wasn't selling. My whole thing that I was doing, my paintings were great, but we hadn't found the magic yet. So do you want me to tell you now how I came up with the drunk girl art?
If it's part of the story, sure. Let's go there.
Okay. Sure. One of the things that I assessed after we were in the gallery, I mean, we went into the gallery and we put a big sign up, Marilyn Sholin, like people would know me. And it took me a while to realize that they don't care. This is not Miami, you know. This is a whole different thing.
Okay.
And in looking at what other artists were doing, you know, I noticed the trend going towards not the artist's name, but catchier, more, I'd say brighter, more interesting kinds of things that would draw people in. So I was just I was like, you know, the stuff isn't selling. I'm making it. It looks good. It's just not really doing what we want to do. And I'm sitting and I'm thinking, okay, Asheville was known as Beer City, USA. I said, I know, I'll do beer paintings.
Okay.
So then it evolved, and I did a whole bunch of stuff online. I knew my website, MarilynSholin.com, was not going to be what I wanted anymore, although it's still up and it's live. And I was just sitting and it popped into my mind. I said, drunk girl art. I said, probably somebody already owns that domain. And I go and check, nobody owned it. I was like, okay, I own it now. And then I learned Shopify, and I mean, it just started taking off. And
Nice.
Once I switched from the work that was not selling to this whole new genre, I mean, it just grew and grew and grew. I mean, it just went absolutely crazy. I mean, it's insane. So I also do wholesale. I'm in some gift shops, gallery in Miami, actually Fort Lauderdale.
Nice.
She buys my work. And in Mount Dora, Florida, I'm in a gift shop that she reorders from me all the time. It's like crazy. So, and Arkansas, I'm in a liquor store. I mean, she bought a whole bunch of stuff wholesale. Nice. And yeah, I mean, it's like just, you know, the growth. But all of my education and running a photography business, running a studio, and working with people, all the whole knowing how to talk to people and the relationships, all of that went into the success that I'm having right now at this very moment.
Yeah. Connect the dots.
Yeah.
And be fearless.
And be fearless. I mean, woo. Yeah. I mean, I've taken on some commissions that I'm like, oh boy, this is never going to work. Okay. Just keep working at it. You know?
Yeah. That's some good advice right there. Just keep working at it and have a great partner. So, you know, I don't think I've ever asked you these questions that are leading to what you're saying. That these aspects of your story. I've always known your story, but so we're kind of digging deeper into it. And I find it so fascinating. So, so generally speaking, since 2007, it's been working out rather well for you.
Yeah. I mean, it took a while, I had to have to put in the work. I mean, there is no magic. Okay. If you don't put the work in, and it's still every day, have to put the work in.
Yeah.
So, but it's not magical. And where our sales now for Drunk Girl Art are beyond what our goals were.
Really?
Oh, way beyond what our goals were. I mean, we're just like amazed, really. And we're just in so many states. I mean, if I stayed in Miami as a photographer, I'm just a photographer in Miami, right?
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, I have artwork hanging all over the country. I mean, we get sales in from everywhere. I mean, it's, Michael was saying we should do one of those maps and put push pins in
Right.
to show
Right.
where we are. Yeah,
That'd
we
be
just
cool.
we just sold this in Washington, sold this in Oregon. I mean, it's and that makes it a lot of fun. It really is.
A little side question just occurred to me. Do you know Thomas Dodd? I think he's in Georgia.
Name is familiar.
Yeah, he's got a Wikipedia entry because he was in a few galleries in Europe, and that sort of gave him qualifications. Have you thought of getting a Wikipedia? Something to
Not
think
at all. Now I'll have to look it up.
about. I can see you pursuing this, and Wikipedia is hard to get. You have to have some credibility.
Okay.
You have to have created something, and to be in a gallery is that, and it gives you massive credibility. But Thomas Dodd, yeah, he's my age. He does a hybrid art with images, and he's a musician primarily, but he's been pursuing.
Oh, okay.
I should send you the original podcast I had with him about 5-6 years ago. I find him very fascinating. I think you'd enjoy it when you listen to how he got into this.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Something to think about. Now, I say that because one of my notes and one of my questions here was ask Marilyn about social media, and that to me is in that realm of social media.
Yeah.
I've always observed this about you. You've been very, very active since way before most people are active on social media. It seems like Facebook and whatnot. You were always posting constantly. And I remember, I think this was back in 2008-ish. And I remember thinking, God, what is this? Took me a while to clue in. And is that true? Is that an accurate observation?
Oh, yeah. I was on America Online. I ran the Kodak weekly group to have photographers come in and be my guests on America Online. Okay. And the benefit of it was that I had unlimited America Online, whereas that time it was like $2 for an hour or something.
Right.
So, but Kodak, I had unlimited. So I was doing that. And I mean, some of the old guys, Skip Cohn, he still calls me my America Online, which was Sparkle One. And Skip still calls me that. That's how I met a lot of people in the photography industry and powerhouses. So I was, I started with Prodigy. I just loved the technical aspect of this whole internet.
Obviously, you jumped on board that whole social media thing. What you're saying, that led you eventually into social media. Does it play a big role in your life and your brand building and all of that?
Yeah, it really does. I don't do as much Facebook as I used to. I check in, daily, but I don't post as much and I don't spend a lot of time. I do spend more time on Instagram, which was interesting because last week Dave said, he doesn't do any Instagram at all. He does more Facebook because he's appealing to the moms.
Right.
Instagram lets me appeal to people that like art and like fun stuff and, like the same things I like. And Instagram, you have to be more personal. You have to connect with people. And I sort of like that kind of thing. I get a good amount of business from Instagram, from people seeing my work, or they have a question, or they want to know if I'll do a certain brand or something like that. So Instagram is as good for me as Facebook is for Dave.
Crazy.
And, I don't really do TikTok, but I need to. But I did some stuff and screwed up my account there.
Oh.
But somewhere down the line, I'll get that straightened out so I can post more videos on there and do more with TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok's one thing I haven't been able to get into yet. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's I don't know. My account got all messed up there. So, but I want to do more, videos showing the paintings and progress, little things like that.
That makes sense.
But Instagram is very strong for me. So
we have a Susie Allen on here, and she's for some reason not coming up on our side here. I don't know why, but she's like, "Good to see you, Marilyn. Marilyn, do you do any shows or fairs, or just rely on galleries, gift shops, and bars now?"
Okay, before COVID, for 2 years, we did a lot of art festivals. I had a couple of rules about it. My rules were, it has to be a one-day show, and it has to be within an hour and a half of where we live. Because more than one day show was definitely not for us. So we did a lot of them. I did a lot of art festivals within an hour and a half of us, a lot of different street things, a lot of things. But then COVID hit, and of course, everything's canceled. So we decided once that happened to put all our energy into the website. And once we did that, we're not doing any more art festivals now. We don't do them. I don't seek them out. So it's just everything online and all my in-person things in the galleries, the bars, the restaurants. I mean, all of that. Now, that being said, a restaurant has asked me before to do like, a little presentation, a little thing, a happy hour thing. Okay, that I'll do. Okay, I'll do that. But we don't consider that, setting up our tent and doing the whole 9 yards, packing the car up to the gills, which is what we were doing with art festivals. But art festivals were a good way to get our name out. I got an order 2 years during COVID. I got an order from a guy in South Carolina, and I said to him, "How'd you find me?" He said, "Oh, I saw you at that art festival 2 years ago at Travelers Press." He said, and I never forgot it. They remember Drunk Girl Art.
Amazing.
They remember that name. And the thing I liked about doing festivals, there's a lot of downsides, but the thing I liked is I loved when I saw people would see my sign, Drunk Girl Art, and they point at it, and they were like, it was a magnet. We got to go see what that girl has. Yeah, I miss that part. The
good name. Good call on that name, by the way.
Yeah.
Really unique. So I remember you told me in one of our previous webinars about the owner of a big brewery who saw you at a display, and he ordered a whole bunch of stuff for his, I guess there was a lot of.
Yeah, he commissioned a 30 by 40 dye infused metal painting for his first tasting room.
Yeah.
And that he found me on Instagram. Yeah.
Nice. Really,
he's expanded. I actually have another one for one of his new places that we're getting ready to ship him.
I find I've always said this, and I've talked to others. I still don't get Instagram, but I post on it every day for my studio.
Yeah.
And we do pay-per-click ads for Facebook and Instagram for all of our events now. They're 100% where we get all our business. And So yeah, and it's powerful. I'm in the back of my brain. I'm thinking this could change, though. Don't get used to it, and maybe keep an eye on TikTok in case there's something relevant.
Right.
None of it makes any sense to me, other than Facebook. So, but anyways, interesting. So you said something earlier. Now my wife's closing the door. There's construction going on. You said something earlier about it helped get your name out there. So at first, I mean, the advice you would give a younger person who's starting out would be to probably do stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. Art festivals are a great way to meet people. Your people skills have to come into play, and you can't just sit in a chair and wait for the sale. You can't just sit at an art festival. You have to interact with people. We would draw people in by, oh, I love your T-shirt. Are you from there? Stuff like that, and get them over to talk to us. You can't sit there with your back to everybody.
I talked to a lot of artists, young artists. They're like, "Oh, I want to be this and that, but I don't like people." You have to. You have to.
I always call it, and this is the way I've always looked at the photography business. The people interaction is show business. It's show business. Mm-hmm. Okay. When I had to go shoot a wedding, I had to flip that switch and turn myself on to doing that. I had to, it's show business. And then I'd come home and I wouldn't talk to anybody for 2 days, Yeah. But it is doing anything that's interacting with people. It's, to me, show business. When I'm in my gallery restocking and people come in, I right away want to talk to them, but it is part of, so when young photographers, et cetera, say that they don't want to do that, they're setting themselves up for failure, because art and photography are people businesses. Mm-hmm. You appeal to people emotionally. You appeal to their humorous side, like some of my stuff is. You have to learn to talk to people. You have to learn to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. That's so valuable. That's golden. So let's show Marilyn's, let's talk about our work. Let's show everybody what we're talking about here, and maybe get into some of this. So do you have a size that you sell the most, or that you like to sell the most? Do you like to go big and 30, 40 inches? Or is there...
The larger sizes don't sell the best. They're good for restaurants and bars and things like that. Online, we sell a lot of 8x10s and 13x19.
Really?
Yeah, we sell a lot of 13x19s. I don't know why, but it's a good size. I never sold it as a photographer. Never sold that size.
Most mid-size printers go as big as 13x19. Is that why that size came up? Are you printing in-house?
Yeah, because we can print that in-house. That's the largest we can do.
Right.
So we do everything up to 13x19, and then after that, it's outsourced to one of the labs.
How many pieces and items do you have on your Shopify account? Your Drunk Grill online gallery.
Yeah, we're up to as far as my pieces of art, I think there's about 75 different ones right now, and but then I have T-shirts and other things that are what they call drop shipping. So I don't even see them. They order it on the website and it just goes out. So I probably have right now about 100 things, but I have to tell you, that's small. I have so much new stuff to put up. And
oh, yeah?
Yeah, this is just, we're going to have a lot of stuff for the holidays up, gift items that are drop shipped. And I have a lot of new paintings that I'm doing. I have stuff from the last holiday season. I have a lot of things that were commissioned, brands that I don't even have up on it yet. So, it's like anything else. You have to take time and you have to work it.
Sounds like you've been busy and you're overall prolific. So, and you like cats.
and we like cats. Yes, as I said, everything evolves. Okay, we never had any intention of having as many cats as we have. Okay.
Cats are a hot market. Like it's like golf. It's like a hot market, and in
We
the world
sell
of
a
art,
lot of we sell a lot of cat prints. I mean, I'm
that
like
was
shocked. In the galleries, we sell tons of cat prints. And
really,
I only have 7 in the collection, and they all
really.
sell. I mean, it really is surprising.
So these are just generic. They don't know that cat. They just love the image.
Yes, yes,
Now, if
that's
somebody
it.
came to you and wanted something custom made, you probably would say yes, or of their cats. Eh?
All right, I have had people ask me and to do their cat.
Uh huh.
The problem is that they don't have the proper photograph
Right.
in order for me to work from.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had this one girl just begging me. And I said, okay, I said, send me some pictures. And she sent me probably 2 dozen, and none of them were usable. None of
Really.
them. Yeah. I mean, there was nothing really of the cat's feature showing.
Right.
It was just not paintable. It really wasn't. And I turned it down. But people do ask, and it depends upon how busy I am. And
Are we froze?
I was gonna. No, I don't know. Did we lose her?
Yeah, you froze for a second, Marilyn.
I did.
Yeah.
Just
Probably
you.
my internet connection, probably mine, out in
That was her showbiz. She was doing a showbiz face.
Okay.
Cats. So I don't know. The thought that occurred to me was make it an option, but charge at least $20,000, and
Yeah.
you get what you get. You gotta. I'm going to create it for you. It's going to be a 40 by 40 canvas or whatever, and you get what you get. Okay, interesting that you're up to your eyeballs in art and alligators and work and business, and this whole direction of yours seems to be working out.
It's definitely working out. Stop right up there, John. The one that's a bar scene between the coffee and that one. Okay. Foster's on Main. Let me tell you a little story about this. One of my cats just came in here. Okay.
That's cool.
I got a message on Instagram. Somebody sent me a message and said, I just saw your work at this bar in West Virginia, and I came to find you on Instagram, and I love these images. So I found out what the name of the bar was. They told me, and I contacted them, and I said, hey guys, I'd love some pictures of my work that you have there hanging to put on my website and everything. And the guy writes me back. He said, oh, I love your work. I love your work. He said, sure, here's the pictures. And he sent me the pictures. So he has two 13 by 19s hanging. Well, then I got contacted about 6 months later by this guy that he wanted to do something for the bar owner. And he wanted to commission me to do what you see there, a collage type of thing, because the bar owner was having knee replacement, and he was very bummed out about it. And I mean, we went on, and he caught me when I'm not busy. So I gave him a decent price on it. Didn't charge my usual fee because they were all chipping in like a Cheers bar. He had people from the bar chipping in, $20 towards this gift for the owner. I mean, how cool and personal is that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was super hard to do. I mean, when I tell you, I spent hours on this. It was super hard. But once he got it, I mean, the owner was crying when they presented it to him. He had tears in his eyes, and he hung it in a very prominent spot. Now I was getting calls for, can I get a print of that? Can I get a print? So now people at the bar are buying prints of this.
Wow.
So, there's sometimes that you break your price for a good reason. And it's never going to be a bestseller because it's very, limited. So,
2 things. Sorry.
Yeah, it's very limited. So it's not going to be a bestseller, but The
Yep.
people that buy it all know what they're doing.
I had a question, and this is a good time to ask, and I'm going to run up to the bathroom because my bladder is full. This has never happened to me before.
No, okay.
But I'm going to run. But the question is, can you show us one or two of your best sellers and maybe talk about sizes? John can maybe go through them.
Yeah, because I think there's one here that has it by that.
Is that cool?
There we go.
Okay, right there, that Blanton's, John.
Yeah.
Number one seller. The one below the vodka. Yeah, right next to the vodka on the right.
Oh, beside it?
Next to that one.
Okay.
That one. Okay. Can't keep it in stock.
Really?
We put so many of these in the galleries. This is Blanton's, and bourbon overall as a collection, the bourbon collection is huge seller. Okay, big market for bourbon, but this Blanton's is outstanding, and they buy it in every size. They're buying it in 5x7s framed, 8x10s, 13x19, and we do a 10x20 metal.
Okay.
And the metal is selling in the galleries.
Now, do you find with most of your stuff, I'm noticing it says fine art print, but it also has the dye infused metal and things like that. Do you find most people buy the prints, or is a lot of people going for the metal?
I'd say it's like 50-50.
Oh,
in the online sales, it's 50-50. We sell a lot of metals online.
You do?
Yeah. And in the galleries, the metal, there's a saying, the big ones help sell the little ones.
Yep.
Okay, so you put big ones in the gallery of metals, and then you sell smaller prints. But this Blanton's and this was a friend of mine suggested this to me. She said, I'd love to give my son-in-law for Christmas a Blanton's painting, because that's like, he's crazy for that. And it's actually, there's a picture of him with it in the blog part of the website. And I had no idea. I've never tasted this. I mean, I don't buy this stuff. Okay. I had no idea how big this was, but Blanton's is the number one seller.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We probably print that every week. We must have to print that to restock it. And we put multiples in.
Unbelievable. Just so everybody knows, Marilyn's work they start with a photograph, right?
Right.
So, and you're doing the majority of your work. Are you doing mixed media, or is it all painter and Corel painter?
Okay, it's actually a mix. Okay, I do originals. The originals are the Photoshop and painter image is then printed on canvas, and I paint mixed media on the canvas with acrylics and chalks and inks and all kinds of stuff. And then I have that photographed. So I have the digital file to go ahead and do all these. So there's only one original. But I had some this past holiday season. I had a lot of commissions that all they wanted was a metal or a print.
Yeah.
And like 16x20s. And I mean, I just did them digitally. I mean, they didn't care. People, photographers, okay, get caught up in, well, people think I pushed a button and did it. No, don't get caught up in that.
Okay.
They only care about the end product, how it looks.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody asks me at the galleries, how do you do this?
Okay.
They
just love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which goes to the emotional side.
And it really fits your brand, the name, Drunker Alert.
Honestly. And even with the cats, I do them so abstract. They're drunk too. Even the coffee, the coffee sells really well. So
really,
it's all, but this is the number one best-selling, our big winner.
Unbelievable.
And in the wine, the 3 wine sells number one.
Okay.
Each category has something, but this is the overall number one.
Where's the wine one? I want to see that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go to find that. And I also noticed while I'm looking for it, I was looking at your
Here
Facebook
it
page
is.
earlier.
Yeah.
Which one was? Oh, this one here.
Uh-huh.
And I was noticing that you actually were. It was, I think, from back 2007 on there, but it was a video of you showing people a tutorial of with a person's face on how you do stuff. And
Yes.
it was saying that it was like part of your tutorial collection. Do you still sell tutorials like that to people to show them how to do this stuff, or?
No, I have them. They're on my MarilynSholin.com site, and we sell them occasionally. But the one that sells the most is they want to know how to paint acrylics on their digital print.
Oh, okay.
So that tutorial sells very well. But I don't do new tutorials for Corel Painter. I just don't do them. I mean, we're busy.
Yeah.
You know, COVID really brought up that more than ever, we wanted to build things that could be done over and over again without my having to do it over and over again.
Scale.
Yeah, I mean, I could sell this print 1,000,000 times over. Okay. And I don't even have to be there.
That's awesome.
I mean, we were away in Charleston and we had 3 sales come in. Yay,
Nice.
I'm away. I'm on vacation. Okay. And these 3 sales came in and it's like, oh, good. That paid for dinner, you know, and that's the way I want it. I don't want it to always have to be one-on-one.
Residual income.
Yes, exactly.
You're living the dream.
Now, do you have a staff that helps you with this? Like if you're, like I said, on vacation, all these orders come in, or does it wait till you get home and then you ship them out to everybody or print them and that? Or do you have a staff that helps you out when you're not there?
No, we don't. It's just me and Michael. And Michael does all the printing and shipping and all the bagging and the a couple of things here. He prints the artist statement. See there.
Nice.
He packages everything. Every gallery has different information we have to put on the cards, so he does that. Everyone is different. And
nice.
Okay, so Michael does all of this. So those 3 sales that came in, I just emailed them and I said, we're going to ship on Friday. You know, sorry, we're out of town. We'll ship on Friday. And they were all like, okay, you know,
good.
There is no problem. But this is what Michael does. He does all the printing, packaging, inventory, all the cards, prints the artist statement. I mean, he packages all this stuff for all the different galleries. So that's a big deal. And shipping and ships them. He was sick and in the hospital. Everything was fine. But I had a sale come in for an 8x10. I was like, well, what do I do now? So I figured I was going to go downtown and pick up one that was he had already packaged up at the gallery, and that I would ship that. But then he was home the next day and he did it. So yeah, that's like important.
So everything is custom printed or done at the lab. Nothing is anything drop shipped from the lab?
Metals. The metals, we drop ship them, but we send the package out. And the package has my artist statement. It's signed artist statement. It has, we send them like a thank you card and all this stuff. And we tell them there, you will receive the metal separately from this mail.
All right.
Cool.
So we do that.
There's something about metal. When I look at your work, I've got a couple in my studio on my walls. I love metal prints. They're just so different.
I'll have to get some done.
I look at your work. I think some images are suited for metal prints, and largely your work, I can see it almost 100% exclusively being very suitable for a metal print.
Oh,
doesn't the metal bring out the colors better or something?
It just brings out the detail and the vividness. I mean, all my stuff is so colorful. So between the detail and the vivid colors, it's just, you know, whenever people ask me, I always tell them, go metal. Don't, you know, I don't even have canvas up on the website. I will eventually. I do get requests for canvas and I'll do it as a separate sale, but I don't even have it up there yet. This Crown Royal, on Facebook, there's Crown Royal groups. And
really?
Yeah.
Really?
I ran a little ad on Facebook, which I don't really run Facebook ads, but I happened to run this. And this is about 2 years ago. And this guy wrote me. He said, I'm the moderator of this Crown Royal group, and we have over 6,000 members all over the world.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, you know.
Ears are open.
I did so much business from this Crown Royal group. That's why I ended up doing all the Crown Royals. And
That's
super
awesome.
nice people, great guys. I don't usually ship to Canada, and you both know why, what a hassle it is and how long and everything. And a couple of them begged me. I said,
Yeah.
you may not get it for 3 to 4 weeks. And they were like, I don't care.
Don't
But
care.
I did find a Canadian printer now.
Right.
I forget the name because I haven't had to use them in a while. And if I get an order in now, I send it to him.
Yeah.
So he drop ships it. So I don't
Well,
have
that's
to
pretty
do it.
cool. Yeah,
Cool.
we use a company called Technicare in Canada that I use out of Edmonton, and that's a really good professional lab. But see, this would be a staple in my house because I always have at least one bottle of Crown Royal sitting in the house somewhere.
First thing in the morning. John is a full-blown alcoholic, so there's that.
Well, welcome to my world.
So Marilyn, we're 8 more minutes to go, and I'm going to let you go. I always wind these up in an hour. Time flies, eh?
Yeah.
It's been amazing, like pure gold.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to send you the Thomas Dodd replays. I think
Okay.
knowing you, I think you're really going to enjoy this guy.
Cool.
You know, we learn from one another, especially when we're in sort of the same niches, which is in your case.
Absolutely.
I don't even know that he uses Curl Painter, but anyways, I'll put that in the replay. I'll put all that stuff in the description.
Okay.
And I have some personal questions I'm going to ask you later, more to do with artistic directions on something else, but I'll get to that later. I want to know what's the future for you. Plans. You said something about goals, man. You said goals, and you far surpassed your goals. Obviously, you're a believer in goals. You have a vision.
Oh, yeah.
So where are you going? Where are you and Michael? Do you have anything in the works for the next 5 to 10 years? Next year?
Well, you know, it's there's so many things I can do with this website. And I do have to find qualified people that can help me with it because I can't do all the technical end myself. So I want to grow the website so that, you know, there's much more on it. And I have a lot of brands that people want me to paint.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I want to keep it growing and growing and growing. I mean, that's really what we're looking at. You know, I mean, we figured that in the equation that we would make X amount of dollars from the galleries alone, and the website would make X amount of dollars. So the two added together, and the galleries are double what we expected to be able to do there. But we also, I mean, we didn't really talk about it, but I redid my galleries. In other words, I repainted them, and we redid the way it's set up. And I mean, after we did that, the sales just exploded. I mean, it was like crazy. Yeah. So there's a lot of things to think about when you're doing this kind of thing. And the website's the same way. Just because we touched on it, the advertising. I have friends that live in the Villages in Florida, which is a huge, huge, massive retirement community. And I did a targeted ad to them, and because I knew it was going to be good. And for 3 times in this little newspaper booklet. And I mean, you know, it just opened up, you know, I mean, retired people buy alcohol, okay? Or they have cats, or they drink coffee. And I mean, we just targeted this one community, and, you know, I mean, every day the sales were coming in. So, you know, I want to do more of that targeting advertising.
Well, yeah, that's amazing. You're talking marketing now, and I want to maybe ask you this question about that. You did the fact that you were able to hone in on these groups and Facebook groups. I mean, wow. Now you know where your market is.
Those are my
Let's
cats.
go hit them.
Yeah.
Did you expect from the very start when you came up with the Drunk Girl Art brand and all that the brands were going to evolve into this and this would be like, oh,
No.
this is where we got to go?
Yeah, it's the brands. We sell more brands than anything else. I mean,
Powerful.
the brands, that is, brands are probably now 65, 70% of our sales are brands.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So
That's
I
powerful.
I still do the other stuff. And I'm in a wine store in Hendersonville on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always looking to do some new wine paintings for her.
Mm-hmm.
So, she does real well with my stuff too.
She's that's near Nashville, right?
Hendersonville, near Asheville,
Yeah.
where I live.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
there's
like the other direction. Yeah.
Okay, there's one in Nashville. Okay, cool. This has been amazing. I made all kinds of notes, and I'm going to put them
Oh, wow.
highlight in the. It feels like I could go on for 5 more hours, but obviously I'm not. I'm just going to go for 1 more minute and let you go. So I really appreciate you coming on board. And I remember when I first met you, I thought to myself, this lady is on fire. She's got passion.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Well, it's true. It shows, it shows. And that was my first impression going way back. And any advice? Let's close with this. Any advice to young artists? What would you advise them?
Keep doing your art. Don't worry about selling it. Just keep doing it and getting your skills up. And, but do collections. Don't just paint trees and then go paint a cat and then go paint, a landscape. If you're really serious about wanting to do this, you need to make a decision as to what subject you want to do. I mean, you have to, it's just like, am I going to be a portrait photographer for babies and children and family, which is what I was. I wasn't doing commercial work. You can't spread it so thin.
Yeah. Specialize.
Yeah, specialize. Yeah. Absolutely. And be different. Don't be afraid to be different. Just go crazy.
Drunk Girl Art.
Yep.
What the hell were you thinking? Jeez.
You know what? I'll tell you something quickly. When I told my son, has always been big in tech, and he works for WordPress actually.
Oh yeah.
Who does website? The whole world's websites. Anyway,
I
told him. I said, I have a new website. I said, I need you to help me with a couple of things. I said, he said, what's the name? I said, Drunk Girl Art. He said, oh, Mom, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I said, no, it's okay. It's okay. And the galleries I'm in, I asked them, do you mind if I rebrand myself to Drunk Girl Art? They said, fabulous. I love it. They were like, instead of Marilyn Sholin, I love that. But my son, my grown son, was hesitant.
Don't take advice from your kids or family members.
Absolutely. That's right.
He doesn't want to be embarrassed. My mom. Oh, what's my mom?
Yeah, right.
So good advice. John, do you have any questions, closing comments for Marilyn before we let her go?
No, she's very easy to understand. I love her stuff. She sent us earlier, I think it was last night or whatever. He sent us the link saying, "Hey, John, did you guys see my webpage?" And I was going through it, and it's just amazing stuff that you do. I mean, I'm blown away. Blown away.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, and nice to meet you.
Same here.
So Marilyn, appreciate it, and far exceeded my expectations. I'm happy for you and Michael. Say hi to Michael for me. And
I will.
Sounds like you guys have a very bright future ahead of you, and we're just going to keep that ball rolling.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. And You know, I mean, Rob, I think about all those years. Okay. You
Good
and I know
times.
each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on, because I know when I approach people, it's one thing, but when Rob approaches them, I'm always nervous. Are they going to say yes?
So I'll send you the replay to this if you want to share it with
Okay.
anybody.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Much
All right.
appreciated. Thank
Okay.
you, Marilyn.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take
Bye,
care.
guys.